Son now. Welcome back to the Pon Pon Pod. How you been? Now listen, I want to propose a proposition. The greatest biopic ever made.
Crying Freeman starring Mark Dacascos.
Okay, that's not a,
in the titular character as Crying Freeman himself.
That is not a biopic.
End of the episode.
That is not a biopic. I know your favorite biopic is Nixon.
Yes,
all right,
it is.
Fine.
But Shall I do an impression of Nixon, by the way, for you?
Go ahead.
We're gonna bomb Cambodia. That was an impression of Anthony Hopkins' star turn as muffled-mouthed Richard Nixon, for which he received an Academy Award nomination.
That's great.
Absurdly, if I may add.
That's great.
Okay,
that's great.
Right.
Listen, but wrong answer. The greatest biopic ever made is Dragon: The Bruce Lee Story.
Big hot take, by the way, by you.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
All right.
Now, I know you watched this recently. I know you love this film.
Yes,
I know
did.
you don't love it as much as Ali, the Muhammad Ali story, starring Will Smith.
Yes.
One of your favorites. A disgrace, if you ask me. But yes, why don't you give them Tale of the Tape for Dragon: The Bruce Lee Story?
Dragon: The Bruce Lee Story, starring Jason Scott Lee.
No relation. Good.
Very much like Agent Johnson and Special Agent Johnson in Die Hard, right?
Yes.
Directed by Rob Cohen. Okay.
Rob Cohen.
Helmer of
His debut film?
I believe it is.
Okay.
Yeah. And who went on to great success with the Fast and the Furious franchise, right?
Yeah.
And is known as a kind of an action film.
What
Helmer.
else apart from Fast and Furious? Do you know?
No.
Fast X.
No. By the way, Fate and the Furious that's number 8. By the way, I recommend you to watch that film.
Okay.
Where Vin Diesel manages to combat a submarine with his car.
That's right.
Right.
Okay.
And Fast 9, I think it takes place in space.
Yes.
Right. That's also based on a true story.
Yeah.
Fast 9 is based on a true story.
Right.
They take the cars to space. And, yeah. Okay. So, but this film came out in 1993 and was a surprising box office hit amidst much bigger, glossier.
Yes. What else came out that year?
Jurassic Park,
based on a true story.
Based on a true story. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Rising Sun, starring Sean Connery. Also muffled-mouthed, speaking Japanese, shouting Japanese. And if I may be so bold, would you like me to do an impression of Sean Connery?
How could I say no?
Telling off. Okay. I think it was not Yoshida-san, but was it
Sakamura Sakatumi?
No, it wasn't Sakamura. It wasn't Eddie Sakamura either. Okay. It was one of the underlings who worked for the Japanese corporation.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is what he said. And don't you fuck with me. Anyway, that was my impression of Sean Connery, and I did an impression before that of Anthony Hopkins. Which did you prefer?
I mean, I like the Sean Connery one.
Okay, you like the Sean Connery one.
What else came out?
Came out? Harrison Ford in The Fugitive. Okay,
Wow.
A great performance and a great movie.
Yeah.
Okay, Tom Cruise in The Firm.
Wow.
Okay, The List of Schindler.
Oh wow.
Yes. Philadelphia.
Won the Oscar that year.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
This was all in 1993.
This is all in 1993.
Jeez, what a year.
And on we go.
Wait, I think you missed one. In the Line of Fire.
Oh yes, absolutely. Let me do my Clint Eastwood impression, by the way, for all you out
The
there.
only reason I brought it up.
Please ask me about the Kennedy assassination, about which I'm very haunted 30 years on, because I failed to jump in the way of Lee Harvey Oswald's bullet that took out Kennedy in Dallas. Go and ask me about it.
Tell me more about Dallas.
Sun was out. First shot sounded like a firecracker. I don't know why I didn't react. I should have been jumping all over. If only I had taken that shot and hit me instead of Kennedy, that would have been all right with me.
Amazing. That is your best
He
impression.
he should have been nominated as well, by the way.
Absolutely. So chock-a-block year. So I'm guessing the film didn't do very well.
16 million budget.
Yes.
With a very juicy return of $63 million. So a 4-time return for...
Just goes to show, like, people going to the cinema back then.
Back then, yeah, absolutely.
Not like now.
No, of course not.
Jeez.
Okay.
Wow.
It was everyone's favorite
all of those
pastime
films
then.
came out that year, and still Bruce Lee, the Dragon, the Bruce Lee story did very well.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, right.
Now, you watched it recently.
I did watch it recently.
I know you're not the biggest Bruce Lee fan, but you liked this film. Tell me what you thought. Tell me what your takeaways were.
You know what? It's a great film that works on four different areas, okay, and it succeeds.
It made 4 times its budget, and it works in 4 times.
Exactly right, okay, because it tackles certain.
4 is the magic number.
It tackles certain thematic elements very well.
Okay.
Number one, first and foremost, a very underrated love story.
Right.
All right. So the story between Bruce Lee and Linda, his wife.
Yes. Linda played by?
Lauren Holly, in my opinion, should have been Oscar nominated for this.
I mean,
Lauren
she's great
Holly
in this.
is a very beautiful, sort of underrated actress who was married to Jim Carrey, and
Right.
he starred with him in Dumb and Dumber.
That's right, that's
and
right.
then later starred as Dennis Quaid's wife in Any Given Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
right? At that sort of social climbing Miamian quarterback's wife.
Yeah.
And I think, like after the 90s folded,
She looks great in this.
she looks incredible in this,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so not just great casting from a kind of a visceral point of view, but it's a very, very good acting performance, and the love story is authentic and real. You
Right.
might be able to vouch for
Yes,
artistic license in this regard.
Yes.
If it's,
I mean, generally speaking, this film does take some licenses with, the truth. However, on the whole, it sticks to it.
okay, yeah,
I mean, things are done to keep the film within a certain, runtime.
well, that's the other thing I was going to say.
Yeah.
As an aside,
Yeah.
it's about 100 minutes long. The pacing,
It fits a lot in, man.
it fits a lot in,
and it just keeps going.
So every scene is not wasted.
No,
It flows very well.
absolutely.
They pack a lot in.
Yes.
And so the love story aside, I
Yes.
think it deals with issues of racial segregation and true love overcoming racial barriers
Yes.
during the 60s.
Yes.
Where this film is set.
That theme of fitting in and breaking down cultural barriers and race barriers is there from the start.
Yeah.
Even from the beginning, when he's in Hong Kong and he's up against those British soldiers,
Yeah.
which have the worst Cockney accent you've ever. Mate, oh mine. Anyway, and
Yeah.
then he's like, they're dancing with this like girl. And they're like, and he's like, he steps in because they're being abusive towards her, and Bruce is like, leave her alone or something like that, and the guy turns around and he's like, Mike, get one of your own, and the camera spins round to first reveal Bruce Lee.
Go on.
And he says, she is one of my own. Great line.
Poignant,
By the
very
way, great
poignant, and also paints Bruce Lee as not just as a defender of women.
Absolutely.
Right. So a feminist. He's one of an early feminist.
A martial artist and a feminist.
A martial artist and a feminist. Okay, so but the overcoming of racial barriers, which is a theme that is kind of chronicled throughout
Yes.
the film, because
Yes,
obviously he has to sort of he emigrates.
Yes,
from,
because of that fight, he has to leave because the police are after him. His dad says, "Listen, you were born in America. You have a an American passport. Go over to the States. Landed a free, dreams come true.
works as a dishwasher.
Absolutely.
Gets into a scuffle there.
Yes. By the way, we'll come back to that. But go ahead.
Okay. So
Tell
in
me
any
about the other themes.
in any case, okay. So but there is that theme of kind of what's it called? Overcoming the racial barriers in America during the 60s. Then I think it works from this through this prism.
Yeah.
It's a great zero to hero story.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean,
The American dream, as I say,
Yeah.
go seek it out. His father tells him.
so the fact that this guy, who is still to this day the poster child for martial arts,
Yes. To
okay,
this day.
without question,
Yeah.
and however big and wide and broad martial arts becomes, because even MMA is an extension
Yes, of course it is.
of
by the way-
what Bruce Lee
By the way,
is credited with having brought to the shores in the 60s. Yeah, what?
I'm very impressed.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, in many ways,
you, yes.
Bruce Lee is seen as the godfather of MMA.
Right, okay.
Because
Oh, I didn't know that,
his
okay.
whole style. Yeah, that's why I'm so.
Jeet
I'm
Kune Do,
the fact
yeah.
that you deduced that
Yes.
yourself, I'm very impressed by. No. Jeet Kune Do was
Yes.
a style of mixing various martial arts together.
Ah.
And mixed martial arts
Yeah.
is what it is
Right.
in its name.
Yeah.
Mixing martial arts. And so that's why Bruce Lee is seen as the godfather of MMA. Anyway, continue.
So amazing amazing to think, considering his life was cut short tragically,
Yes.
and under kind of
1973.
under very dubious circumstances.
Yes.
Like, imagine, I mean, to think what his legacy became, and that he didn't get to see how extensive his influence would reach and how extensive it would become. It's really, really a tragedy, and a great
it is,
irony. There's a great irony in all that.
But there is something to be said for the fact and now this pertains to many artists who die young, that they are iconic because they died
They've been
young.
martyred.
Like Kurt Cobain,
It's
Jimi
true.
Hendrix,
It's true.
you know.
By the way, I would like to... Ian Fleming, who didn't get to see what the James Bond film series, spy films, would become, is essentially the kind of the paragon of that kind of storytelling.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So, it's true.
So go on. So you had the race, you had the theme of racism.
Overcoming racism,
Yes, you had
the love story.
The love story.
The zero to hero.
The ambition, the unfettered ambition.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing, which I think is you know, which is probably more obvious.
Yes.
But nevertheless, the fact that it's a biopic might render it not obvious, but it's a great action film.
It's a great action
So
film.
even though this is not a Bruce Lee helmed action film in the way of Enter the Dragon or
yes.
the Green Hornet TV series,
whatever. Way of the Dragon.
Way of Dragon.
Fist of Fury.
But actually,
The big boss.
the fact,
Okay, go on.
the fact that they're able to capture, and there are plenty of fight scenes.
No, there's
in
plenty.
this.
Like I'm saying,
Right.
it's not like this film is non-stop. Apart from the part where he like injures his back and he has to go through a bit of rehab,
Yeah.
it's like non-stop fighting. Like every other scene, there's some
Okay.
sort of martial arts.
Tell me some of your
set
favorite
piece.
scenes, 'cause I know you're a big fan of this.
Well, what I want to say is, before we get to that, is that it's really one of the last great 90s cliched, unrealistic action films. Because if you remember, there's that scene in the Chinese restaurant. So he's emigrated to the
Yes.
US. He needs to find a job, go to school. He works in a Chinese restaurant
Yeah.
as a what?
Dishwasher.
As a dishwasher. All right. Anyway, because Bruce Lee being Bruce Lee, he ends up like, you know, hooking up with the hottest waitress in the restaurant. The other cooks and chefs and waiters are not happy with this.
Yeah.
It turns into a big brawl. And lo and behold, he has a fight with about 10 of them, and for some reason they're all like martial arts experts. Like, how is that?
Yeah.
How are these chefs and cooks wielding like knives and doing backflips and, you know, spinning?
As an aside, by the way,
Yeah.
that just came into my head right
Yeah.
now. It's actually probably because of that film and others like it that kind of pushed that cliche that actually I believe that at my favorite restaurant Benihana for so long
Yes.
that all those chefs, the hibachi chefs,
Yes.
were in fact ninjas and jiu-jitsu experts and
I mean,
kendo experts
maybe they
because
are.
of their incredible
Maybe they are.
handiwork
So maybe it's
with the
very
knives
realistic.
and
Maybe
all the
it's very
cutlery.
realistic.
Right.
Then. So yes, so those action scenes. I mean, the action scenes are a bit over the top, but they're very fun. They're very.
They're
like,
fun. They're
yeah,
fun.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are
They're
fun.
fun.
They are fun,
They're
and
fun.
they're very well shot.
They're very well shot,
Very well
yes,
shot.
yes.
Okay, so your four kind of, you know, takeaways.
Yes.
And things that stood out for you are the breaking down of the race, the love story,
Zero to hero.
the zero to hero,
And just it's a great action picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
another thing that I know you always have a lot of interest in.
Yeah.
Is the soundtrack.
Oh my god.
Tell me about the soundtrack.
So this is Randy Edelman helmed the score.
Yeah.
Okay. And Randy Edelman
I mean, this
ha-
soundtrack is like has been used in different films, in commercials, in like, you know, just like hearing it in like elevator music. All of
Absolutely.
it, like it's gone on to have a life of its own.
Absolutely. In fact, I think that, I mean, this is probably not a hot take, but I think this film's enduring legacy
Yes.
is its score, because as you said, it has been used in so many film trailers that
Yes.
came out subsequently.
Yes.
And it is such a, I'm trying to describe what the score is. It's kind of it's very, very uplifting.
It is.
And but with some kind of sad, somber
Yeah.
notes and tones,
Yes.
right? So it's a confluence
Yes.
of emotions.
Yes.
This musical score, and for anybody that is curious enough to play it, they'll recognize it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I can't
even if you don't recognize it from the film,
Absolutely.
you'll know it.
Yeah,
because it's like, you know, used so much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it would be playing alongside or sports montages,
Yeah.
film trailers, probably commercials, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
on. And it is an amazing score that has held up so well.
Right.
And one of the and probably the film's like I said, enduring legacy.
Yeah.
Now, about some of the Bruce Lee's legacy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're obviously an enormous Bruce
Yes,
Lee fan.
yes.
And I think this is where you have to kind of say how faithful to Bruce Lee's story is the film.
Listen, I think, like I said before, there are some liberties taken, especially I think with you know, there's this like, you know, the sort of the Chinese community comes down on him because he's teaching kung fu to non-Chinese people, so they don't like
Yeah.
it. So there's a big fight, and he busts his back. There's some truth to that. Although I don't think he broke his back or whatever, injured his back during that fight. I think he injured his back separately,
Yeah.
and they kind of tied those two things together. But I will say this: beyond like the artistic liberties and the things that may not be true to life, what stands out for me and what makes this the greatest biopic ever
Yes.
is Jason Scott Lee's performance.
Okay.
Because a lot of times you see films, of great characters throughout history, whether they be musicians or political leaders
Yeah.
or whatever they may be, sports stars, whatever. Jason Scott Lee doesn't just mimic who Bruce Lee was and like his accent and he really embodies him, because Bruce Lee had such a huge charismatic screen presence, which is almost impossible to replicate, but he does it in such a great way that you almost think Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, is a Bruce Lee film.
Wow.
It's basically, he embodies him to such an amazing extent. And I also think Jason Scott Lee probably didn't go on to do much after that, because he did such a good job
He became so typecast
in
playing,
Dragon. Because
playing
what
Bruce
did he
Lee,
do
yeah.
after that? I think he
Yeah.
made a color film.
Jungle Book was
Jungle Book was
yeah.
one of them. Rapa Nui was
Yeah.
another like weird film that
Yeah.
he did. I mean, you'd think he'd be perfect for Jungle Book, but
And tell us about Brandon Lee, his son, his late son being passed over.
So Jason Scott Lee, who was not a martial artist, was cast to be in this film, but he was a dancer. However, having rhythm in dancing, can help with martial arts,
Yeah.
right? Because a lot of it is timing, a lot of it is rhythm.
Yeah.
So that and plus he's a great actor. Now they did want Brandon Lee to be in this
Yeah.
film, and what's tragic but also very coincidental is that this film came out, as you said, in 1993.
Yeah.
Brandon Lee died famously in 1993 whilst filming the movie The Crow.
Yeah.
He had an opportunity to be in Dragon and play his father. That's what the producers initially wanted. However, he thought it'd be too weird to play his own father, have this weird love story with his mother, very Marty McFly, Back to the Future vibes.
Yeah.
So he passed on it and he went and made The Crow, which is also an iconic film,
Yeah.
a cult classic. However, had he done Dragon, might still be here today.
very
So
ironic.
R.I.P. Bruce, R.I.P. Brandon.
Absolutely.
You are the greatest.
Very ironic. Now,
Yeah.
another thing.
Yeah.
The one thing, a kind of a thread
Yes.
that exists throughout the
Yes.
film, right? It's like a current that runs through it.
Yeah.
Is this demon dream sequence?
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
I wanted
so-
to ask you about.
No. Well, exactly. Well, and that goes back to, and I don't know if the filmmakers put this in after Brandon Lee's death, or
Oh,
was
wow.
it there all
Okay.
along? Because it's so true. So throughout this film,
Starts
some
with
of
the father.
Some of the things you were saying, it almost starts like a horror
Yeah,
film.
it does,
right?
yeah.
There's this little
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
It's smoky.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
dark. Some crazy demon is coming after
That's
him.
right, that's right.
And so this theme of having Bruce Lee being cursed,
Yes.
right, exists throughout the film, and he has these like visions of this demon trying to kill him, and then later on when he has his son, the demon trying to kill his son, and it's said in the film that you're gonna die young, and your son might be next, and obviously these things came to pass.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they put it in afterwards or was it always part of the story, but he did die young. His son did die young. So I mean, it's an amazing little like sub-narrative that runs
Yeah.
throughout the film. He's always fighting his, I mean, it's a bit on the nose, but his inner demons.
Yes. One thing I did like about the film
Yeah.
as I was watching it, which is an interesting kind of about turn when it comes
Yes.
to biopics
Yes.
or tragedies, because the Bruce Lee story could be considered a tragedy of somebody whose
Yeah,
life
sure.
was cut short, right? But it's very interesting the way that they're chronicling his ascent.
Yes.
And obviously everyone knows that he died under kind of dubious circumstances. He fell into a coma
Yes.
from which
The
he never
autopsy
recovered.
report.
Yeah.
Says death by misadventure.
Is that really what?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So, but instead of kind of showcasing that,
Yeah.
instead of deep diving it, or instead of
Yeah, they don't get into that.
to
Which
turning
a lot of Bruce Lee
Right.
documentaries, they focus just on that.
on the tragedy,
On the death.
and
This doesn't even
Yeah.
touch on it until the very end.
it's funny. The death is
It's like a postscript.
It's just literally an
Yeah,
addendum.
yeah.
Where his wife actually the voiceover at the end captures it very, very
Yeah.
well, where she
Yeah.
says, people always want to know how he died. I prefer to remember how he lived.
I mean, at that point, tears.
Yeah.
At that point, tears.
Right, and that's an amazing. That's great writing.
Yes.
That's great.
Writing.
That's great. Yeah, Sylvester Stallone should take notes, by the way, on
That
the
is
set
true.
of Tulsa King season 4, by the way, because it was writing, you know, like, you know, like, you try and try again. Keep looking at the camera.
Yes.
And try again. You know, like this manuscript. You know, have you seen what he's writing for Tulsa King season 4? I think it's 4 editions of the Magna Carta.
You know why?
Right.
He basically writes a letter a page with the Mongrappe.
Oh, yeah, Monte Grappa, yeah. Okay. So I think this is a very
you know.
Yes, yeah, it's a very Monte Grappa messaged me on Instagram, by the way. Okay, I'm one of their most what's it called?
Loyal clients.
Yeah,
who has
absolutely.
never
We've never bought a pen from them
Yeah,
ever, by the way.
Amazing.
So one other thing, because I know that you, as being a Bruce Lee aficionado, his actual never mind the martial arts impact, we talked about that already,
Yeah.
but his film and television impact, because I
Yes.
know that it was a bit of a mixed bag.
Yes.
Okay, so 2 things. Number 1, tell us about that, and tell us how you feel his films have since endured.
Right. Number 1, let's focus on this. So within the film, we meet a character called Bill what?
Was it Krieger?
Krieger, played by Robert Wagner. By the way, Robert Wagner, underrated.
Yeah,
Why
by the
doesn't
way.
anybody talk about Robert Wagner?
Well, I talk about him all the time. By the way,
mean,
Heart
what-
to Heart is one of my favorite shows of all
king.
time. I
What a
know,
legend.
and you know what? You know the essence of debonair.
Oh my God.
He's so debonair.
Oh my God. Up there with like up there with Blake Carrington. But
Oh
even
yeah,
more.
absolutely,
But even more. Though.
absolutely.
Who's
yes.
that actor?
Forsyth. William? No, not William.
Blair.
Bill. What's his name?
He's got a funny name.
No. Who? You're talking about Blake Carrington?
Yes.
No. Forsyth. I remember. I forgot what his first name
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Isn't it like Lindsay? Isn't it like a girl's name?
It's not Lindsay.
Like Blair.
It's something for William Forsyth is the guy
No, he's
from
the author. He's the writer.
No. No, that's Frederick Forsyth.
Yeah. Bruce Forsyth.
And William Forsyth is, by the way, the guy from The Rock, who's also
Nice to see you,
no,
to see you,
no,
nice.
actually, you know, William Forsyth is.
My brother. It's me. I got it.
William Forsyth is the one from The Rock, and
Oh, you do it now. I'm just on recording this. Sorry.
he's the one from The Rock and Things from
Traffic
Denver and You're
warden.
Dead. He's what's his name? The guy with the tattoos from Things Doing Denver and You're Dead, the family man.
Oh yes.
What's his name? Not Pieces.
No, Wild Bill?
No, God.
I know. Okay,
Yeah.
anyway, whatever.
Anyways, whatever. Yeah.
Look it up on your phone.
Yes,
for
yes,
crying
yes.
out
I
loud.
will. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna remember Blake Carrington's
Okay,
first
so
name
yes,
whilst you're
so
at it.
Robert
But
Wagner.
tell me about Robert Wagner.
I mean, just it's such a G. Generally.
Go on,
Let's just put that
Yes.
aside and like maybe come back to it and do an episode on
Yes,
just Robert
yes,
Wagner.
yes.
But anyway, so yeah, he's this big TV producer who sees Bruce Lee at the tournament, right? And he's like, listen,
John Forsyth.
finally.
Da-na-na, da-na-na-na. Opening credits with the brandy.
Yes, very.
It's the brandy
the
shot is
hair's
key.
the hair's the same. The hair with him.
And Robert Wagner.
yeah,
Yes, it's
exactly
true.
the same.
Well, Robert Wagner, I feel, could have played like an offshoot character of Blake Carrington. In fact, do you want to know something? Do you remember the Colbys, which was an offshoot of?
yes.
They played Jason Colby.
Yes,
Colby was played
yeah,
by
yeah.
Charlton Heston.
Yes.
Who also played him in this sort of like kind of old school transatlantic
Yeah.
billionaire
Yeah.
American debonair guy.
Yeah.
But yes, I think Robert Wagner could have definitely. But I mean, listen, he did well with Heart to Heart.
He did amazing.
right? And that has a great theme song too, by
Yes.
the way. But yeah, go on. All right,
Absolutely.
so yes, Bruce
great
Lee's
opening
film,
credits.
television,
Anyway, so
film
the TV
career.
producer comes along. He's like, "Listen, we need to make something of you." So then they go off and make the Green Hornet, famously, and that's when he starts mixing it up with the like elites of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Starts teaching like Steve McQueen how to do like kung fu
Yeah.
and James Coburn and all these like big stars from the '60s,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And by the way, having said that, like what a great encapsulation of that period, of that era.
Love it.
Right?
Love it.
Like, I mean, a bit bright and very colorful, and maybe rose-tinted glasses.
Rose tinted glasses for sure, but you know what? Yeah, and look, it's obviously not been shot the way that other biopics, like in the vein of Oliver Stone or Michael Mann, have been shot. It doesn't have that
Yes,
kind of
grime and grit.
Yes, and that sort of artistic
Yes.
flair.
And
But
by the way, the same thing can be said for like Bruce as well himself, who was not a saint.
Yes.
But in this film,
Yeah.
comes across as very clean cut, you know, never doing anything wrong. Although I'm sure Bruce did a few. I mean,
It's very-
famously had a few affairs and stuff like that.
It's a very kind of vanilla ice cream.
Yes, very daytime movie.
Yes,
vibes.
absolutely, yeah.
But having said that, an
It
amazing
works very
movie.
effectively.
Very
Okay.
good.
So yeah, his film, yeah.
Yeah. So then they go on, and then like obviously
Kung Fu?
Yeah, no. Well, yes. So he devises this TV show called Kung
Yeah.
Fu. Okay. However, again, going back to the racial barriers, the studios did not accept this Chinese
Yeah.
guy to be their like protagonist
Yeah.
or a main star. Even in the Green Hornet, he's famously made to wear a mask to hide his Chineseness,
Yes.
even though the character is Chinese.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
So he says, "I'm out. I'm going back
Yeah.
to Hong Kong."
And who did they start? Is it David Carradine?
He goes back to Hong Kong. Yes, David Carradine.
Yeah.
Who then went on to star as another martial artist in Kill Bill.
Ah, yes.
Anyway, it all
He goes
links
back
up.
to Hong Kong, yes.
Yes, he goes back to Hong Kong. His father passes away.
Yes.
He goes back to Hong Kong. People come up to him. Here in Hong Kong, it's not called the Green Hornet Show. It's called the Kato Show, which
Yeah,
is the name of
yeah,
the character.
yeah.
We love you. We want to make films
Yeah.
with you. So he stays back there, right? And by the way, this is a very... I mean, you say the film is a bit daytime and a bit rose-tinted glasses, but it is complex in its own way. So he's breaking down these racial barriers, right?
Yeah.
He goes to Hong Kong to make these films. He becomes a massive superstar. However, there's a need for him to make it big in the Occidental world.
Yeah.
To be loved by the non-Chinese.
Correct.
So he himself has this like sort of-
Hankering and- yeah.
exactly. So like I mean it's very subtle, but it's there. And it's very clever. Also, great writing, right?
Yeah.
So listen, the films do well, but he gets a call. They want to make this other film with him, Enter the Dragon. This is my shot. Warner Brothers, all the money. We love it. He goes back and he makes Enter the Dragon, and the rest is history.
Amazing, unbelievable. It's really, really a very, very like beautiful biopic. It's
Yes.
it's heartwarming. It's romantic.
Now,
it's
one
tragic.
thing I want to
yeah.
bring up that you haven't touched on,
Go on.
which I'm surprised at.
Yeah.
The physique.
Ah, yes. I
the
was going to say
man-
that. Yes.
The man.
Okay.
I know he's no fucking Arnie,
Yes.
but he's jacked.
Okay, you're talking about Jason Scott Lee or
Yeah,
Bruce
Jason
Lee?
Scott Lee.
Okay,
I'm talking about Jason
so
Scott Lee.
okay.
I mean, great upper pec.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Great upper,
I do
great
think-
shoulders.
I do think he's more jacked than Bruce Lee actually
Oh, yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah, he
He's a
is.
bigger guy. He's a
He's
more
a bigger-
heavy-set
yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah.
So I did notice that because I
Yes.
obviously did cross-reference.
Yes.
The two
Yes.
with one another.
No, he's
Bruce
like-
Lee was very, very kind of
No, very small, very slight. I mean,
slight
lean,
stature.
very lean.
Yeah.
But yes, slight in stature.
And 5'7".
Yeah,
Jason Scott Lee's
exactly.
about 5'10".
Exactly.
And yeah, I mean, yes, I did notice that he's much more shredded and well, shredded. He's bigger.
He's bigger.
Like his physique is more robust. Particularly good definition in the kind of
Tricep
delts.
area.
No,
Oh,
yeah, the
yes,
triceps and front
Yes,
delt.
yes.
Right, the arm is cut.
Yes.
the arm is very well
Yes,
cut.
yes.
And I do think that works well.
Yeah.
Because I think viscerally, a guy who is essentially for a lot of the movie is in
Yeah.
tank tops or
Yes.
or topless
Like
himself.
that gym scene where he's in college.
Incredible.
Great fight
Incredible
scene.
fight scene.
And great, and this is what I'm saying, it's all those little quirks of Bruce Lee that, Jason Scott Lee, transfers in his acting, which is amazing. When they're in that fight scene and, he's like, the guy, starts pushing him around, he's like, don't touch me.
Or touch you back.
And he's like, or what? He's like, or I'll touch you back.
Yeah.
With a little smile,
Yeah.
with a little, Bruce Lee smile and, wink.
And he does the sounds very well. He mimics the sounds.
I mean, the sounds are
Ooh.
are funny, but the sounds are easy to do.
But
it's
still,
the
he
rest
does
of the
it-
stuff
yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
maybe
easy
you're
to
right,
do.
yes.
You know what I mean? Those
Yeah.
are if it was any other actor, they just do the sounds and a few high kicks, right?
Yeah.
And think they're Bruce Lee and
Yeah.
go do that a couple of
It's true,
times,
it's true.
and a bit of this.
Also, another thing, like we said, Bruce Lee, the story with his mother-in-law.
Yes.
I assume it's true in real life.
Yeah.
The fact that it comes full circle and she becomes very accepting upon first sight of her grandson.
Yes.
And she's won over, and I think she's kind of accepted.
Yeah.
The true love has triumphed.
Yeah.
Over racial prejudice and all that. And that's very, very nicely and poignantly handled. Listen, it's a fantastic film, I have to say.
It's great.
I'm very, very happy to have rewatched it after so many years. And absolutely the case. I mean,
Best biopic?
I mean,
what's better?
with the exception, well, I think the best biopic of all time, if I'm being honest, right?
We always like your honesty. Go on, tell us.
Is Cobra, starring Sylvester Stallone. Because you know what, when I think about it upon reflection, I saw it recently, you know, I mean, Marion Cobretti, this kind of like, who worked in the zombie squad, the most vicious division within the LAPD, and is basically trying to combat this gang of crazed...
Right, okay, that's great. Listen, always subscribe, please subscribe, like, and comment. Have you seen Dragon, the Bruce Lee story? What do you think of it? Is it slightly underrated? I think so. I think it's an amazing film. You're coming on board to that. I mean, aside,
I'm fully on board.
Cobra aside.
Cobra
but
aside.
yeah, let us know what you think. And in the meantime, us.
And watch Crying Freeman.